everybody, so I am back for another update. I got a comment on my most recent video asking for an update about the whole situation, and I feel like all I've been doing is making videos about my relationship. It's kind of a unique situation. It's long distance and it's military, so I understand why kind of people are interested in that whole situation. Anyway, I will kind of make like a general update. So I am officially done with my spring semester of the OT program, and we start summer school on Monday, June 5th, and it's going to be a crazy summer, and I already know that. I'm doing 2 summer camps along with work, along with school. So it's just going to be crazy, but I'm kind of welcoming the busyness because I need it. If you all don't want to hear kind of a talky version of this update, I made an update on my blog. I've had a blog for the longest time, and I've been talking about my relationship since last year. I just recently made a update about it. If you want to go check that out, I'll leave my blog link below if you want to go check that out and read that. I want to write more, but I don't know, with me being so busy, how that's going to happen. But I do want to write more, and I feel like I do need to write more. It's good for my sanity, and it's good to let things out. So go check that out if you want a readable version of this. If you don't want me blabbing. But anyway, so kind of the update with my relationship with him is still kind of the same. It really hasn't changed. We're still not together, even though most of the time, like, it honestly feels like we are together. Like for the last 6 months, it's kind of been the same. It's been the same thing. What has changed is I did go out and see him. I saw him last week. I flew out there on May 23rd, and I went there for about a week, and then I flew to Florida to go on my field work. So that's where I was this past week. I was out on field work at a pediatric clinic. So I was thinking, magical things were going to happen and things were just going to be awesome after I left, and they weren't that way. I did have a good time on the trip. I feel like we definitely needed that. It was a year since we saw each other, like, physically, so I felt like we did need that. I didn't know it was going to happen. I think when I made the last video, I did not realize, I don't think I was making plans with him at that point. It was still up in the air. Probably about like the end of April, early June was when I think we made a decision about the whole me going out there to see him. That was kind of like painless, to be honest. I asked him, at first he was kind of reluctant and hesitant, and he told me he wasn't ready to see me. And then I kind of stopped pushing it, and I asked him again, and he said, yes, this date works better for me. So I went and I did it, and it happened. And I really needed that. I did find out while I was there that he is still talking to his ex that made a fake profile of me. He tells me that he doesn't trust anybody, and he's not sure if I made the profile or if he or she made the profile. Why would I make a profile of myself is beyond me. Why would I do it in the middle of school is beyond me. I didn't do it, but he's going to believe what he's going to believe. I found out that he was talking with her because he was on this app called Voxer, where you can listen to people's voice recordings. So he's on that with his friends, and he was listening to one of his friends and talk, and he had his phone out on an angle, and I was looking at him, and I see the little pop-up that she messaged him. And I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to drop it, but I knew it was going to bug me the whole dang time. So I brought it up to him, and he told me that he is talking with her, and it's cordial. But I really don't know if I believe that or not, because of their past history. Like, I don't think that is the truth. He told me a long time ago that he had kind of emotional, like, attachment and connection with her. Like, their relationship was very emotional. And I can understand that now, because he is emotionally distant from me. He's not open with his emotions, and it's very blank, and I know that, and I've known that for a long time. When we were dating, she was kind of in the picture. She was like sending him stuff, and there was a whole situation with that, and I thought he was done with her. And his thing is that he wants to be cordial with her because she can ruin his life. And he has one more year left in the Navy, and he doesn't want her screwing up anything. But in reality, she can screw up his life whether he's cordial with her or not. And I don't think he really truly understands that. I do think she is mentally unstable, and she can snap at any moment. I'm kind of just waiting for the collateral damage, to be honest. I think there is something more going on that he wants to tell me, but it is what it is. And I kind of had to remind myself, like, we weren't in a relationship, but it honestly felt like we were. Like, when we were there, like, we were kissing, we were, like, being touchy, and it felt like we were in a relationship. So basically, my relationship with him is kind of in an I don't know situation. And it's going to be like that for a while. I was expecting, magical things were going to happen, and I was going to have answers to everything, and it didn't happen. I thought we were going to talk more and have all this stuff, happen, and it didn't. I'm kind of taking a break from him. I feel like it is much needed. It is a much needed break. He's said for a while that, we both have things that we need to work on, and, how can we work on those things when we're both, like, still talking with each other? So I feel like I need, like, a month or so away from him and kind of heal and kind of work on myself. I have a lot of flaws, and I am not afraid to admit that, and so I need to work on myself. So that's kind of where I am with him. I'm not talking to him. I haven't talked to him in almost a week. Track back, I wanted to meet his friends while I was out there, and one of his friends was in town, and I wanted to meet him, and he tells me that, something about opportunity, and like how the opportunity has to present itself. Well, apparently his friend called him and said, hey, do I have any mail? Because he used to live there. Well, he did have mail, so he met with him outside and gave him mail, and they were talking for like 20-30 minutes. It wasn't just like a pass, here's your mail type of thing. Like, he was out of the car, he was talking with him, and I was upset, and we kind of got into an argument when he came back, because I wanted to meet them, and how much more opportunity can you get? Like, the dude was at his house. So I was disappointed, because I felt like he is keeping me from his friends. Like, there is something else or someone else, and he doesn't want to explain everything, so he's keeping me from everybody. He tells me that's not the truth, but I honestly feel like that is. He told me the opportunity wasn't right to meet him because they were talking about a friend that had an accident while she was at work, but his wife was there. So I'm like, I didn't understand that. And he says, oh, well, she knows everything. And And I'm like, yeah, well, you tell me stuff too. He told me about the accident and everything. And he ends up telling me that his friend wants to go out to a restaurant with us. And the next day, I was leaving. I was leaving in the afternoon, and his friend was gonna, text in the morning and tell us what time and everything. Well, that never happened. He texts his friend at around like 10 and says something about it, and his friend says, "Oh, I'm busy. I'll text you in a bit for sure." And long story short, I didn't go and meet with him. I kind of think he was lying about that situation, but I don't know, to kind of keep me, to keep me from fighting more with him. I don't know, but that situation never happened. Do I still want to meet his friends? Yeah, absolutely. He's very close with his friends, and it's like, I feel like I won't know the whole him until I meet his friends. And it's been a long time. I've wanted to meet one of his very closest friends for a while, and she's always like not around when I'm there. It's kind of an I don't know situation, and that's what I can put it. He talks about how he wants to like go with the flow and stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I can't go with the flow, like with a relationship. I just can't do it. I feel like he doesn't want to make a commitment for whatever reason. He wants to kind of feel things out, and he totally can, but I don't want to be dragged along with that. I am okay if he is not meant to be in my life. I'm okay with that. I think I've really come to closure with that. I do want to, I am hoping I get a fieldwork site out where he lives, and I'm hoping, that is God's way of showing me that we can still, work on this relationship, and this relationship is, meant to be. When we're with each other, like, things are awesome, things are great, we're laughing, and everything's fine when we're together. But when we're not, it's a whole different story. And I just kind of feel like our relationship needs to be not long distance, like it needs to be close, and then we need to see where things go from there. But until I get out of school, that can't happen. So anyway, that's the life update. So thank y'all for watching. Bye.